Morgan Brennan sitting down with Lockheed's CEO at the company's headquarters in my hometown, Arlington, Virginia. Morgan.
Hey, Tyler, that's right. So I just spoke to Marillyn Hewson, the CEO and chairman of the world's biggest defense contractor, Lockheed Martin. As you might imagine, they use a lot of steel and especially a lot of aluminum to make all of their military hardware. So I asked her what she thinks of President Trump's prospective tariffs.
Well, I think the tariffs, we'll have to wait and see how the details that come out, what the impact would be for our business. I think one of the things that's important is that this administration is focused on making companies more competitive globally. The thing that I hope that we can continue to focus on is how important our strategic partners are around the world and those alliances that we have that affect our national security and how we can, our allies, as we go in a coalition environment together.
Have you heard from any of your partners or any of your suppliers in terms of these tariffs?
I have not heard anything directly. I do think, we do have a very extensive supply chain. We have over 70% of our business that's in small and medium-sized as well as large businesses, so it's an important element of our business.
So when these tariffs are discussed as an issue of national security, do you think that makes sense?
Well, I think that, the administration has a responsibility of looking at what those impacts are, and so to the extent that they see a connection with national security, then that's what their role is.
And we've got an F-35 model behind us. So this seems like, I guess just try and walk me through what this would mean if we saw something like tariffs take place for a program like F-35. I know some of the suppliers are in places like Canada. The horizontal tail is made in Canada. If we were to see tariffs imposed across the board on everybody, including our neighbors to the north, how does that affect a program like F-35?
Well, as I said earlier, we don't know the details yet. So we're going to have to wait until the details come out before we can really get to any specific impact on our programs, on F-35 or any of our programs. As I said, our supply base is critically important. And to your point, we have 170,000 jobs on the F-35 just in the United States. And then we have other countries that are producing products and components for the aircraft. So it's a very important job creation and economic impact, not only for the U.S., but for other countries.
Are you concerned about the potential for retaliation from allies if we were to see blanket tariffs put in place? I mean, international sales have been growing for Lockheed Martin. Is that a concern?
Well, international sales are very important for us. I mean, it's over 30% of our business, and so we want to continue to sell our products around the world. But the work that we do is primarily to support countries in protecting their citizens and their national defense. And generally, we don't see them make those kinds of choices to not buy the products and capabilities they need to protect their citizens because of oil prices or something of that nature, or tariffs. So I would expect that that their first order is to protect their citizens.
And sort of shifting gears to another area that maybe there's been question marks or some uncertainty, the defense budget. I know it's poised here in the U.S. to grow by double digits versus 2017 levels, but of course that's if and when. We've really operated off of continuing resolutions for the better part of a decade. What's better for business, to have the certainty of a budget that is passed on time, or to see growth in the budget even if it's not passed for a while?
Well, I think what's best for a customer, and that's whatever's best for a customer is best for business, frankly. That's how I look at things. And what's best for our customer is that they have stable, consistent funding, because if they have that, they can plan and they can determine where they need to invest for not only today's readiness and what they have to address in the situations that they face today and the threats they face today, but also the modernization and the investment and innovation for the long term. So if they have that planning then flows down to industry partners who support them. And we, in turn, can have stable and consistent investment. We can decide to make longer term investments and innovations that will support them.
And speaking of investments, tax reform, I know that is tax savings for you guys. You're putting it to work. You've pre-funded your pension, $200 million towards investments, which really says something when CapEx in 2017 was already at record levels. Looking out longer term, where do you see putting those tax savings to work?
Well, as you said, we've increased $200 million just in capital expenditures and our independent research and development. So our research and development is also important. We're going to continue to put some of those tax savings toward technology ventures, where we invest in small companies that are startups that have technologies that we're interested in that would help integrate into things that we're pursuing. We're going to invest in our employees. I mean, we think it's very important that we invest in their skills and in education and training. We've already increased our tuition reimbursement. We're going to continue to do things in that nature. And then our charitable contributions. It's important that we continue to work on the pipeline of STEM capabilities, science, technology, and engineering and math. It's critical for our company. It's critical for our nation. You know, we have over 60,000 scientists and engineers, and we hire about 11 or 12,000 employees every year. So we want to have that pipeline of STEM talent coming into the business.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.